Hi Dave, can you hear me okay? You're muted.
Hi, Dave.
How are you, Nancy?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good,
Looks
thanks.
like me and you here.
Yeah, I saw Paul earlier. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, his chair is empty.
Oh,
He eats a lot during these meetings, so I maybe he's getting food.
yeah. Oh, boys.
I have to leave at 7, and I know we have a lot of important things to do today.
Yeah. Hmm.
Here's
Oh,
Paul.
Hi,
yeah.
Nancy. I'm up
Hi.
there. You can see me and hear me?
You're very quiet.
Oh, hmm.
Can you turn your volume up?
I don't know. I don't even know where the microphone is. Um, I'll do that. I'll try that. Wait a minute. Probably not there. Up there. Uh, More. Let's try that. Mute my audio. No, that's not what we want to do. Huh.
I don't know where to tell you to find it
Yeah, I'm looking.
without getting out. Oh,
I'm
I
not.
see it. If you put your clicker to the very, very top of your screen,
Which screen?
the whole screen,
Yeah.
and I get a blue line across it, and it's zoom.us, and there's a thing for the microphone.
No,
If
I
you
don't.
put your cursor to the very top of your whole screen, do you get anything?
No. No, I don't.
All
Uh,
right. Well,
Wait. All right. Now I. Okay. You know
and,
where it went? It went to the screen that I shared. Isn't that a nuisance?
and so there's a microphone. So maybe if you turn your microphone up.
Yeah. I will try that. Hold on. There it is. Yep. Select a microphone. Select a speaker. Microphone, save in the system, select a speaker, test speaker and microphone. That's probably it. Okay. Okay, input level. Here we go. I don't know if it's letting me change it.
All right. Well, just
No,
talk loud.
not letting me change it. Sorry. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
So, Paul, I have this problem that I have to leave in an hour.
Yep. Well, you not, tell it to the boss.
I'm scared.
I think I'll just have to shout, Nancy.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Why am I getting feedback here? That's really annoying. Do you still hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, like as well as before.
Oh, now I can't hear a thing. Wait, I'm getting feedback. Why? Oh, what a nuisance this damn thing is. All right, I'm going to try another microphone. Can you hear me any better?
Yeah.
Well,
There's
necessity is the
also
mother of invention, I guess. Oh, now it's still feeding back to me. Oh, this is awful. You probably hear the feedback also.
I hear like a
Oh,
buzzing.
God, what a damn nuisance. Oh, I have no idea how to fix this.
I'm sorry. I think I made it worse for you.
I don't know. You didn't do anything. All right, I'm going to turn off my mute myself for a minute and maybe it'll relax and regenerate.
Hi, Paul. This is Ellen. What's the issue?
He's on, well, I don't,
Ellen, you can you hear me okay? Well, I know what the problem is. Now I think I'm good. Okay, can everyone hear me all right?
Yeah, now you're great.
Good. And no feedback. Okay, the reason was I was on test and it was spitting it back to me, you see?
Okay, well, it's fixed.
All right. Now we are waiting for Madam Chair.
I'll be on my phone having dinner. I just got out of my last work meeting of the day, and so
Okay.
I need to come down. I'll be at my computer when I'm done dinner.
Okay, I will turn my video off so I can have my dinner and not get anybody else sick. But I can hear you okay.
Good. I have my headphone on and I have it connected to my iPhone. I'm just not showing my video because I'm wandering around the kitchen right now.
I can hear
Perfect.
clanking glasses.
That was not me.
Oh, that's Paul.
That's me, sorry.
No fair, we can't share your dinner.
Too bad, isn't it?
We're just, we just gotta have a meeting down your house, Paul.
He didn't invite us, Dave. Is tonight
Oh,
when
you
we
know what
have,
we can do? Let's do the minutes.
okay,
Everyone have a look at the minutes, please. And where did it go? Now it hides under this damn thing. Here we go.
I have one nitpicking correction.
Okay, I will put your nit in.
It
Or
says we're
I will
meeting at
pick your nit.
7. It says we're meeting at 7 tonight at the very bottom, and it's really
Okay.
6.
Yes, let's next meeting 6 o'clock. Okay. Does anyone else have any corrections to make?
You didn't fix it.
I will, just a minute.
Okay,
There you go.
okay.
Are we sure that Lynn is aware it's at 6 and not 7 since she typed those up and isn't here?
Well, she sent me an email, and the notice line on the email says meeting 6 p.m., but she may not have
She was
read
the
it.
one who she was the one who suggested 6 o'clock.
Yes, I'm sure
Right,
she's probably running around like crazy.
right. She's probably caught somewhere
Right, exactly.
and doesn't want to do it on her phone or something.
Well, or it was maybe driving, and that's always hairy.
Right. If you don't touch your phone, you can still do Zoom on the phone when you're driving.
Oh, is that right? If you don't touch it, it doesn't know that you're.
No, it's legal.
Oh, really? So if you have it on a thing mounted on the dashboard?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think so. What do you think, Austin?
I think you're right. I think as long as your hand's free, phone's okay.
You won't get a ticket,
interesting.
which I've had.
All right, I'll give her a call and see what's what here. Lynn will be on in a moment.
Okay. How many people do we need for a quorum?
I think just a majority. And there's Lynn. You're muted.
This is very embarrassing. I was just waiting for 7 o'clock to roll around. I
We
do
thought
apologize.
so.
I do apologize.
Well, anyway,
Anyway, here we are.
okay,
So
we've
I
already
see you
individually
started the
looked over the meeting minutes unofficially, so now you can start us officially, Lynn. Go
Oh,
for it.
Thank you so much, Paul. So yes, Lynn Spencer, Chairman, Community Preservation, calling this meeting to order. Joining me tonight from the committee are Nancy Katamo, Austin Antrim, David Wilson, Paul Spurn, and let me
Ellen
see.
Goldberg is here also, Lynn.
And Ellen Goldberg. Yeah, I just opened up something at the bottom of the screen. We are also happy to welcome Deborah Warren from FinCom and Ben Pierce from the Daily Item. Okay, great. Thank you all. Appreciate your patience. So the first thing we'll do is take a look at the minutes, which were sent out, I believe, yesterday for your review. Paul, thank you for putting them on the screen.
Sure.
I hope folks had a chance to look at them. If not, this is the moment. You want to just scroll down a little bit on the Paul? So
We did before you came.
oh, you did. Well, then I'm just I'm waiting with bated breath for a motion.
I moved to accept the minutes from 3:11, I think it is.
I second, Paul.
Very good. We'll do a roll call vote on that. Nancy,
Aye.
Austin,
Aye.
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Ellen.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Minutes are accepted. Give me a moment while I locate a piece of paper on an otherwise very papered desk for the chair to write the minutes. I hope you all feel it. Do you feel it?
Oh, gosh,
No.
yes.
Yeah. I
Yeah, we
hope you
feel
do.
guilty.
Yeah, good. That's all I wanted to hear. We feel guilty. All right, but you know what? It's just been fun writing these minutes. Next up, I just have to write this. Give me 1 second while I get a piece of paper. There's no paper in this box. So from the last meeting, we actually had voted 7 articles to move forward to the town meeting. And tonight, we'll review that again, but this is the moment when there are 7 articles, there's 7 committee members, and as Paul wisely pointed out at the last meeting, and so you have a chance to volunteer for the article you would most like to write. Now, Paul, you led the pack with your spirited endorsement of the Flash Road Master Plan.
Right, right.
And I was wondering if you still are feeling
Of course. No, I'll be happy to do that.
okay. Next up is the Heritage Trail at Goddard Drive.
I can take that one if there aren't other volunteers.
Okay. Thank you, Austin. And just as we're reviewing this together, you can look at a model at how we've drafted articles in the past. I think the marvelous booklet that Tony put together last year is a good example. Otherwise, I can send this out to you. Again, I think you might have copies of what we had done last year. For the two articles that we have in front of us, we can safely say that we can draw from this year's revenues. So it'd be, from the projected fiscal year 25 revenues. And both of these categories are under the category of open space and recreation. So hopefully what is in this, if you will, this spreadsheet, it will provide you a good guide.
Thank you, Lynn.
You are welcome, Austin. Next up is the Little League lighting. We got a lot of information on this last week. Again, this is under the recreation category. It's a grant application or a grant award of $75,000 with $30,000 projected coming from the Little League and $5,000 to $15,000 coming from in-kind services. So I think that has to be written into the article. Any takers? Where is Jimmy Dolan when we need him? He has kids.
We could
Okay.
assign it to him.
Oh, did I just see little? Oh. Yeah. Interesting. I'll put that down and reach out to him and see if he'd be interested in drafting that. Housing development location study. This is under the community housing category. It's a grant of $60,000. Dave, since you're representing housing, would you be interested in trying to draft this?
Yeah, I'll try to draft it for us.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Thanks, Dave. And in this case, there's a little bit of a dance on math. Well, we'll see about this. When we get to the end, Dave, I'll return to this to see if we've got an issue with whether we have to draw from the reserve fund for housing. But for
Okay.
the moment, let's just sort of let this be. I'm opening up this on the other screen. The next one that we recommended funding for is the Bailey's Hill Complex Fort Ruckman restoration.
I could do that.
I was hoping you would say that, Nancy. Thank you. Let me see. Next up, in terms of what was voted, is the beach access mats and wheelchair. I'll take that one on. And the last one, in terms of what we're recommending to move forward, is the Boulder Scramble at the Forest. What's it called? The Forest Playground.
Arts Playground.
This is Ellen. I can take that one.
Great, thank you.
While this is up in the air, Lynn, I
Yeah,
got an email from the school principal who
Mhm.
asked when we inform applicants of the action of the committee, and I didn't know what to say, so I thought I would ask you, do we respond formally, or are they just supposed to pick this up through the ether and see what comes up at town hall?
Well, since some of these have had the active participation of the town manager, Tony Barletta, I think he knows where we're going. But
Yeah,
I do think we need to reach out to folks like Kevin Andrews. I also need to do a formal follow. We also need to do a formal follow-up with Gary Dinas for Nahant Cyber. I think the tennis had already been quite thoroughly
yeah,
dealt
right,
with, and they understood where they were going.
right. Well, we we voted to propose it. I just wondered if it was appropriate, since things could happen between now and town meeting.
Yeah, I think what we do is that we're recommending it to the
Okay,
town meeting.
all right,
And
I'll let them
yes.
know.
Well, that would be nice. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's great. Okay, well, that was pretty painless, wasn't it? Okay. The other thing that I'd like to do is just scroll down to the lower part of this
Well, you don't want to do
page.
that? Okay.
No, I want to just look at where we are in terms of balances. Yes, if you go down, yeah, there. So if everybody can see that. So when we factor in the administrative fund plus the 3 payments on the bonds, we are at $500,115. We are projecting revenues from fiscal year 25 with a 50% state match of $435,569. And we have a reserve of $169,664. We have a housing reserve of $53,098. And then we have interest earned of $18,018. So the amount that we have exclusive of the housing reserve for allocation is $623,251. So if we proceed and fund all that we've recommended, we'll still be leaving a reserve of approximately $123,000 plus what's left in the housing reserve. So is that clear to everyone?
Yeah, but also added to that would be clawbacks, right?
Well,
We're
that's
going to
the
go
next
there
topic.
next.
Right, but I mean, that becomes more money in our pile.
That's right. We see what we can do in terms of the clawbacks. But you're right, Nancy. That actually increases our fund.
Lynn, before
right.
you go on to that,
Okay. Yep.
isn't it to our advantage in terms of flexibility for us to draw as much as possible for housing projects or the housing project as we can from the housing reserve?
I'm right now we have one article in front of us for housing, the $60,000 article.
Right.
If we were to do strict math on what we have out of the 10% for housing, it'd be $43,556,000. So
Right.
we would draw from, one option is that we draw from the housing reserve to make up that difference, which would be about $17,000.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. So
Yeah.
that draws down the housing reserve,
Right.
but it increases, we still will have a fairly good sized general reserve. And we'll see what the clawbacks can do for us, because I think there's, I haven't added them up, but I had identified some potential clawbacks, had sent that along to Tony and Allison has kindly responded And so that's the chart that I'd like to look at next. If you're
Okey-dokey.
ready, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, we're ready.
Lynn, I just have one question. I may just not be remembering, but do we also have to set aside 10% for preservation?
You know, Austin, I have to say, I had this bad moment yesterday when I was working on this where I thought, oh, there was no historic preservation asked this year, but we do have 3 bonds that are preservation related.
Right,
So
thank you.
I think we're all set on that.
Okay.
But otherwise, if we didn't have those bonds, yes, you were right. We would be setting aside 10% of our money.
Good
historic.
move, Lynn.
Well, I just had this weak moment. I'm like,
That
oh my
was
goodness.
that was a double sow chow you just did. Good for
Yeah,
you.
something like that. All right, so now we're on this next really great looking chart. And I'm pulling mine up big on my other screen. So folks, what this does, I mean, and we are so grateful first to Debbie Walters, who did this for us for years, and now to Allison. But this is a full accounting of our grants. It charts what has been paid and what is still in the grant as a balance, which could potentially be clawed back or can, be used for its original purpose. So just running down this, the first one is the Heritage Trail, which goes way back to 2009. And there's still $518 in the account, but Allison's note is don't claw back, could be used for additional signage.
Yeah, we
Lynn, can you
recently
tell me
took,
where you're looking? Because I can't find it.
Oh, at the top of the chart, I beg your pardon. Go to the top of the chart.
Yeah,
We are not
okay.
at the top of the chart.
I'm not? Oh, I
No.
thought it was. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
Yeah, that little thing. Right, there we go.
All right.
And I highlighted things in yellow or the highlights are from town hall, the orange is from me, and then the column marked AN notes is Allison Nieto's notes.
Thank you.
So she's recommending don't touch this for now. And I assumed that she and Tony had conversation about this.
so I can tell you that if any of you guys go on the Heritage Trail, starting off at the parking lot of the Lowlands, you will see there is a new sign there. And the Open Space Committee made a new sign recently and put it up. And so we took money from some of that. And I think that's why she's protecting the rest.
Thank you, Nancy. That's great. Okay. Reading down to the chart, the next yellow highlighted item, just so I can cover this with folks, is public waste studies. And we did broach this subject with Tony last week, and Tony asked us to continue to protect those balances because he felt that he was going to need them for the work that he and the planning board are doing to try to both identify and map those public ways, but then to work to maintain them or reopen them to the public. So I think we should respect that. Next is in the yellow and orange highlight is a library bond from fiscal year 2011. It has a balance of $114.44. It looks like this could be clawed back. Anyone objecting or have a thought on this? Then let's mark this as one that we want to put on the list to claw back. Next up on the screen, what's on the screen is there still is another balance of $3,967.50 in the public way account. Again, we're being asked to leave that intact. Thank you. Next up We've got a more, this is I'm sorry, I'm reading across. More library. This is the library assessment. There's a balance. That was a study that was done. There's a balance of $78.84. Looks like that's okay to claw back. Next up is there still is a balance in the life-saving station landscape and stairs. And I would like to keep that intact because there's more that could be done over there, specifically in terms of chain link fencing and the beach. Next up, there's a little bit more money in the town hall cupola project. We should leave that intact. That is for that weather vane that is taking a long time, but it will happen. The next one marked is the library art and furnishings cataloging, and I see a note that says okay to claw back there. Sharon Hawks was very vigorous on that project, so I'm presuming that that means it is done.
Lynn, did that okay come from town hall or from the library?
Came from town hall.
I wonder if the new librarian knows that she has access to that because she might want to use it.
Well, then somebody can reach out to her about it.
Yeah, I think somebody will.
I think it's
Okay.
interesting because everything that has to do with the library is clawing back. Everything that has to do with town hall is staying. Just
That's an
saying.
that's an interesting comment, but those are library building projects, and that a lot of money has been spent on that building. So
Okay.
apparently they don't need it. This is for a cataloging project, so that goes on a different tempo. But I do think that if you want to if somebody wants to volunteer to double check with the librarian on this, I'd be
Yes,
welcome. Okay.
I'll take that responsibility.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. So you will check with,
I'll check with Lori and see if this is something she was aware of and if she has an appropriate use for it.
good. Further down, we have more town hall projects. You're pointing, and one of them has to do with some masonry work. There's a balance of $5,000 in that account. The other one is for $165,000 and change for the handicap ramp and handicapped access. Tony last time reported that he is making some progress on this, so we'll leave this intact. We still do have $29,000 in library preservation. So there is some money for the library to spend on, capital work.
Okay.
Next up is the chapel doors, the Ellingwood Chapel doors from fiscal year 17. That work was done. I think because that was specific to the chapel doors, I think that we should look at clawing this back. Unless anyone has an objection to that.
Lynn,
Yeah,
this is Dave. I know they did the front and the side, but the door going down to the cellar needs some work. It's all rotted out on the plane. So I don't know
Ooh,
if we can use that.
that's a good point, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be done with this fund.
How much is that? I can't.
Oh, it's $4,763.43.
Well, I would keep that in there because I know that door needs to be fixed.
Okay. All right. I hear you on that, and I agree. I remember it's at the bottom of an areaway, folks, so it is in a bad location. for getting rot. Okay, Dave, got it. Good point. And I know you're in and out of, we were at the cemetery all the time, so what we should do is talk about how we could actually take some action on that.
Yeah, would be appreciated.
Okay. The next one down is $172.37. Again, it's library repairs. I hadn't marked it, but Allison has marked it as okay to claw back. I think what happens with these really small amounts of money, it's hard to sort of draw down for a project in a kind of coherent way. I suspect is part of what's behind that. Anyone have an objection to adding that to the clawback list? Okay. Again, a little bit more money in the library, town hall, and chapel repair, so we'll leave that intact. We have to double check on the next one that is marked, which is the wetland zoning bylaw amendment. There was $6,500 that was voted by town meeting for this. I believe that the work on that is complete. So we'll have to double check with Tony and the Board of Selectmen about this one. Excuse me for a moment while I do some marking on this. We have some library debt. There's a small balance in that, and I'm not quite sure what that's about. So I'm going to check with Allison about that. There's two of these. One is $6,176, and the other one is $11,354. So if we can't apply those sums towards the bond costs, maybe we can look at clawing them back. But I will check with Allison about that. I had asked about the Council on Aging Kitchen. Hi, Tony. And Allison has said, don't claw that back. Tony, if you're on board, do you want to comment about this? Not to put you on the spot, but I
I'm
always
so
do.
sorry. I was on my way home and I pulled up the community calendar thinking, is this meeting at 6:30 or 7? And then I pull up the community calendar, it's 6.
Listen,
Like, oh my
I had to
God.
get a call to say you called for a meeting at 6, and I don't know what I was thinking.
Sorry.
So,
Sorry.
so Tony, we have gone through the minutes. Whoa, we approved minutes. We actually assigned people their articles. Now we're reviewing this list of potential clawbacks, and we've just gotten down to the juicy part when you came in.
Okay.
Okay, so one of them that I had marked because it's been out there, and I thought, oh, I just want to spark a dialogue on this, is the Council on Aging Kitchen.
Okay. So
So
I would ask that you don't claw it back yet. That
yeah,
might change between now and town meeting, but I wouldn't hold my breath. I would think don't claw it back yet. We're currently exploring the school, the library portion of the school, as an alternative location for the Council on Aging. If all the stars align and we end up going down that road, then this would get clawed back.
Yep.
We have already had engineers come in and look at the current kitchen, and put together a design and shared that with a construction cost estimator. Now they have finalized the design. We've gone through a couple different versions. They've finalized the design, a conceptual design with the school effort. The next step is for that to go to a construction cost estimator, and we're going to compare the two options and determine, what's the best avenue for the town and for the Council on Aging. So we don't know yet the result of that process.
Okay. All right.
Can I ask a question? This is Ellen. What would happen to the school library?
So the current, what the concept right now is there's unused classrooms on the other side of the building where all the classrooms currently exist, that would be converted to a new library, which would actually be nice for the school. Likes that idea because it kind of keeps the library closer to the existing classrooms.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Tony. All right, we'll leave that on, Tony.
Please. I see the wetlands bylaw one too.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
I think that one could be clawed back.
Because I think we're done with it. So,
Yep.
okay. All right. Well, that's a nice one. Tony, I have the next, just below the wetlands bylaw clawbacks, there's two library debt and borrowing numbers, 6,000 and change and $11,000 and change. I have to ask Allison what that's about because, we're already carrying the cost of those bonds. So I don't know if they can be applied to the bonds or we should just claw them back and then we can reallocate the money.
Yep. Okay. I'll ask her too.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm marking up my chart as we go along.
Isn't it appropriate to find out what the borrowing was supposed to be applied to?
It says it's for the library. It's for
Okay.
the fiscal year 22 borrowing and then the fiscal year 20 borrowing. It's
I-
it's
Yeah,
a hard
you
it's
could
a hard chart to read, especially on the screen for you, Paul. I'm lucky
Yeah,
I've
but-
got it on another screen.
Right. No, I understand that. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that the money has already been spent?
Right. Those are debt payments. Those are dollar amounts that were approved to be put towards debt. And so if there's a balance, I'm not sure why there would be a balance unless
Right.
we overestimated the debt that what was due that year,
Right.
and we just paid
Okay.
what was actually due.
Okay. Right.
It looks like the first one. It looks like the FY24 budget for that was 50, and what was expended was 43,491. So
Right. I think
I'll
that
ask Allison.
I think
And then
you've
it'd be
explained
your-
it.
Yeah, and then I think it's she might have a recommendation of why don't you use it? Why don't you pay down the debt faster, or leave it up to you guys to decide whether you want to do that or bring it back into your
Mhm.
claw back.
Well, it looks like it's just the expense as of March 4th that's been incurred. So there's more to be incurred. This is just like an actual as of March 4th.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not necessarily that that's available to be clawed back as I'm reading it.
We'll just ask her. I don't want to, I'm not.
Yeah.
The next one, if you want to hold on to the COA kitchen, that's fine. What I'm a little puzzled by is the outstanding balance for the open space master plan.
What's her note say there? Can we scroll to the right?
Yeah, sure.
Do not claw back. I believe that there are plans for these funds. So Nancy, this would have been the money that was paid to the consultant to assist you in the open space master plan.
Right, and I thought that was $30,000 and I don't understand why it's still sitting there.
I don't either.
I know, I thought we paid him. I thought,
Yeah,
so I don't
So-
know if maybe her accounting, like this sheet might not be up to date, because I'm almost positive. I mean, I would imagine he would have asked us a few more times.
Right, right,
If he
right.
hadn't been paid yet.
I mean,
I
that's
think
the
you're right.
MIPA people and they're pretty professional about stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that's, Tony, is that something you could speak with Allison about directly
yeah.
or do?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
We've been running in different directions the last few days. It's just been crazy. So
Yeah.
I'll check in with her on that.
Okay, that'd be great. I'm making notes on this chart as a little cheerful reminder, so.
Hey,
Um,
Lynn,
yeah.
I'm sorry to change the topic here for a minute, but I need to leave right before 7. So
Oh, that's why we're here at 6. Now I remember.
no,
Okay.
no.
Whatever.
Yes.
Carry on, Nancy.
All
What
right,
do you
so
want, Nancy?
I'll be dropping out, but I think you don't need me for a vote.
I don't think so, because this is actually going to, the only thing I'd need to have you do is move to adjourn, but you won't be here for that, so too
Okay.
bad. All right, thank you. Thanks, Nancy. All right.
Now, what
Six.
about this one, Lynn? How do we have
I
$130,000?
know.
Where'd that
don't-
come from, Tony?
I-
You didn't-
I don't know.
The debt payment might not be due until the end of the fiscal year. That might be why. So that's, again, those, anything related to borrowing or debt payments.
Yep,
Let me check with Allison.
Okay.
got it. Next up is $50,000 for Ellingwood Chapel preservation. We really do need, we've got work on the chapel and on the gate, Tony, and I know you've been talking with Richard Smith.
This
And I
one,
hope-
though, this one was submitted to the CPC by the Cultural Council, by Jim Walsh when he was on the council.
Yeah,
So I kind of got to go back and look at the application and the motion to understand what it really was for. I don't think I imagine that it has something to do with the interior. It may be general enough.
no, it has to do with leaks and the roof and the impact on the interior. And it's very sad because that building isn't being used in any way that I know of. And I haven't been inside probably in 3 years, but I
Yeah.
would be chagrined
Mm.
because we had some periodic leaks with the slate roof that was going to be addressed. And then there was going to be touch up on the plaster and painting, as I recall.
Okay.
Dave, maybe it's possible that Tony and I could meet you down at the chapel.
Yeah, so on the tower section, the highest
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
it is leaking water into the sides and the paint is peeling off, even though I have the heat on. That
Yeah.
has to be addressed right away.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so Tony, it really does make sense. I mean, several years ago, there was that assessment identified certain critical areas. But I do think, if we've got Richard Smith working with you on the entrance gate, it's a walk over to the chapel to say there's more to do there.
Yep.
And Tony, Dave actually recommended, we had $4,000 plus left over from the door project several years ago. And Dave has reminded us that the door at the base of the areaway to the cellar is in poor condition. So there's a couple of things that could be dealt with there.
Okay.
We are next on this is we are still holding $17,000 for the Doric Club gangway and floats. Now, I know the Doric Club put in money on this? Is this to say, does anyone know anything about this?
Well, the new gangway is installed.
Right, and I think they
Uh,
paid for it.
It was I think this had to do with they wanted to have like a, almost like a winch type
Yeah.
system that would lift the gangway.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying, I thought they were going through some sort of like engineering study process on that.
So this was Sandy Burton, as I recall, folks. Does anyone else remember that? Who was leading this project? Do you
Yeah,
remember that, Austin?
That's correct.
Yeah.
My recollection was that that they just went ahead and did something before they got the money from us, and that they were no longer looking to us for the money that additional money that they spent. But that's not gospel. That's only a recollection that the issue was closed, but I may be wrong.
Right. And I think just as you were talking about following up with Nori about the library money, I'm looking for a volunteer who's willing to reach out to Sandy Burton and see if they're complete.
I can do that. Yeah.
Austin, thank you so much. Actually, I hate to say it, Austin, but I'd already written your name down. No. Gotta have some fun with this stuff, don't we?
Yeah. We're almost there,
Okay.
Lynn.
I
Keep
know
pushing.
we're pushing through it, aren't we, Paul? Gosh.
Yep.
Fort Ruckman still has some money that's being spent by DPW on this phase 1 thing, so that's fine. We've got the East Point situation. When the time comes, we have a voted appropriation there, but it's going to be when the time comes. Next up is Historical Society document restoration. They spent their money. The project is done. Alice has said it's okay to claw this back as a courtesy, because I think we are in that mode. I will just double check with Julie or Nancy. Would you mind, since?
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, thank you. If you would do it, just check on that.
Yep.
So that would be 115. Next up is the Heritage Trail. We're going to be reallocating that to the master plan. That's going to be a artful article to draft, Paul. That'll be a good one.
Do I have to mention this?
Yes, you do.
Okay. All right.
We've got a bit of a balance in the housing production plan. I think that's going to be paid out.
Yep.
We have the town hall acoustics and lighting. Are you still wanting to hold on to that money? Say yes, because I want you to.
Yes.
You made really good progress with those curtains. Now let's make progress with the lighting.
Yes. I don't think that's going to be enough to get the lighting done, but I don't, I'd rather not lose what we have that could go towards a future potential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me see. We've got another town hall and cemetery debt. We'll let Allison take care of all that good stuff. A little bit more money in the playground equipment, but you've got plans for that, Tony?
Yep.
Looks like Allison says don't claw
Yeah,
it back.
Yep.
The town hall flagpole, I was noticing the other day that it really does need a coat of paint.
Yeah.
And some repairs. So do we have a plan to get that going? Because that's a beautiful thing. An
Yeah.
important thing.
We have to put it out to bid. I think we're
Hmm.
gonna have to put it out to bid, so. Just gotta put together, actually, I think that we have some procurement documents that were used the last time it went out to bid,
Yeah.
so. We gotta just, dust them off and get them posted.
Right. Last time it was done, Yankee Steeplejack did it. And I think there should be some money on that.
Mhm.
I think the rest of these are really, we're going to have we've got money in administrative costs from fiscal year 24, but we need to save that for the town warrant.
But you're
The
gonna
pickle-
have new admin money again, right?
Right, right. But your printing costs will be coming in fiscal year 24. So
Mhm.
coming out of this one.
I
Right.
was starting to ask some folks about signage, which we talked about in a previous meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And is that something that would come out of your administrative budget? Obviously, I don't want to spend out of that and take away from your ability to do the book, but
Well, the book isn't going to cost $8,000, is
right.
it?
No,
Not.
no, it shouldn't. But that's what I'm just trying to figure out what your budget might be for some signs for the
Yeah,
CPC projects.
Yeah, I think you're wise to say to us, let's keep this intact.
Yep, pickleball courts. We got our order of conditions from the Conservation Commission a couple weeks ago. So the lighting project should be starting next month.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
you decide to do that with any solar collection, or is it all hot energy?
Hot energy.
I mean, live
Yes.
off the line.
Live. Yep.
Live. Okay.
I'm working on another solar effort, Paul, that would encompass all electrical usage related to the town. So it's still possible that we're going to try and find some savings, but the issue is the National Grid substation for the size solar project that we've explored, which would be on the roof of the school. It requires a study of the substation that National Grid would make us pay for. This is their way of kind of slowing down these types of projects. But at the same time, National Grid is working on a upgrade to that substation related to flooding resiliency and stuff like that. So I'm trying to loop it into one project so we don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
So anyways, just so you know, we're trying to make we're working on an effort to reduce electrical costs and produce renewable energy on the town side. It just wouldn't be specific to one particular use.
Okay.
It would be on the overall. The school thing's great. During the school year, it reduces, it would have a good, it would basically cover all the usage of the school and then extra net metering for other municipal use. In the summertime, it would almost cover all municipal use because the school isn't really running. So it's a good project. We just got to get National Grid to come along.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tony. That's great to hear about. Let me see. Where were we? Pickleball courts. Oh, the next one down is a $40 from the Nahant School registers that is okay to claw back. according to Allison. And then we have open grants that are still in the implementation stage. So I just did a subtotal of the clawbacks excluding that $17,000 for the wharf. So it was a whopping $9,612.44, but it cleans things up. And then Austin, depending on what you hear from our friend Sandy Burton, then we might have the potential of adding another $17,000 to that.
Okay.
Okay. So for tonight, folks, hi, Michelle. For tonight, folks, this is what I had planned to cover. I don't know if before we move on to new business, I don't know if there's any further questions or comments about this review of the potential clawbacks. Okay. So then we can go on to any new business.
Lynn, you probably mentioned this last time, but when is our appearance before the FinCom? And do you want to meet again before that for any reason?
Yes, I do. I want to see the articles. That's for next week.
Exactly.
So the meeting with FinCom is on the 28th.
Okay.
If
We have a
can,
meeting scheduled for the 25th, Monday.
right. To see how this is just coming together like the pieces of a good jigsaw
know.
puzzle.
Right.
So if you all could kindly, if it's possible, if you could get me your articles on Sunday, I can sort of put them together in a single document. Or turn to Ellen, which is what I normally do, to say help, but in all truth.
You know what? You know it would be helpful, Lynn. Excuse me, if it were easy enough for you to circulate the last set of articles that we wrote as a
Mhm.
model.
I can do that. Yes, I
would be
will
great.
definitely do.
That'd be
I will
great.
definitely do that. Ellen, now I see you.
Yeah. I heard my name. It was like the bat signal.
That's right.
Yeah, so well we can move forward in a couple ways, right? In the past, one of the things I have done is I've had everybody send me their plain text articles, and then I put them in one document with very little formatting so that they can be easily assimilated by whomever is preparing the whole publication. So we could do that, or we could all work on separate documents. I can do either. I can do whatever.
Well, I guess because we've got we've got 7 people doing articles. If the 7 people could send you their Word documents, and then if you could put them into a single document that we can review for the Monday meeting, that would be the cat's meow.
Yeah, I can do that. I would just say it doesn't even have to be a Word document. If you have it plain text will be best, because I'm going to incorporate all of them into one document, and residuals of formatting always cause problems. So just as plain as it can be.
I don't know what plain text is.
You could just copy and paste it into an email if you wanted, right? Or if you
Okay.
want, right? That would be fine. Or just a
Okay.
plain doc. I'll strip formatting. That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But don't get fancy with headings or bold or italics or anything. Not necessary.
Oh, good. Okay. That's what
Yeah.
you mean by plain text. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And folks, if you could ideally get that to Ellen on Sunday, by
Yeah.
Sunday, so she would have a chance to put it together for a meeting on Monday, that would be much appreciated.
So our meeting on Monday is back to the regular time, 7 p.m.
Yeah. Yep.
And could you give us a little more detail about the FinCom extravaganza? Is that a hybrid meeting, an in-person, a Zoom? Do you know?
Everything is by Zoom as far as I know. And
Yes.
I
Okay,
think we don't have any of our FinCom members on anymore, but
Okay.
I have it on my calendar.
well, it's
Or
probably on the
6:30.
town, 6:30, it's
It's
probably on the
6.
town meeting calendar,
Yep.
Yep.
community calendar, all right.
And it's always great to have other folks join. So if you are volunteering, or if you just want to spontaneously show up, we start at 6:30 on Thursday, the 28th. Other items to discuss tonight? Okay. Well, then I'm waiting for that important motion.
I move we adjourn.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Lynn, I I received an updated quote for the recreation master plan. Should I send that over to the entire committee?
Yeah, I
Sure.
think that's a good idea.
Sure. That's
All right,
fine.
sorry that you were right there at the finish line. Sorry.
I was almost there, and I'm going next.
It came
So
in
it's-
today. It came in today, so I just wanted to say that.
That's fine. I love hearing that. So I've got a roll call vote for a motion to adjourn. Austin,
Aye.
Ellen,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
chair votes aye. We are adjourned. Okay,
Thank you.
folks.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you
night,
so much.
everybody.
Thanks for joining us. And thank you, Ellen, for being willing to scissor that document.
Yes,
I'll
thanks a
send
lot.
I'll send the model out right now, or last year's votes, just so
Super,
folks can
thank
see
you,
them.
Lynn.
Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now.